loves, welcome to Fifth Dimension. So I know it's been a while since I posted, but I figured that I should do a collective energy reading right before the year ends for anybody who feels like they could use a little guidance while we close up this year. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull some. That's the first one we have coming up. I'm going to pull some oracle cards at first, and then I'll add a little tarot, and then we'll get a little bit of advice for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few from the 𝗪𝗏ology deck as well before I get started. And I just want to apologize for the awkwardness. I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel really anxious. I think it's because I haven't done a reading in a while, but bear with me if I'm being awkward. Well, more normally than usual. Okay. So main energy being the door to value card number 31. So the representation here is about getting a peek, a sneak peek to something good, right? Some sort of blessing that's wanting to peek in or pop into your life. The main feeling that I'm getting from this card is like a representation of what you've experienced this year would be examples of that, however that reflects in your life. So having felt like there's been openings in maybe more opportunities, or maybe just random little trickles of blessings that are coming in, things that are being relieved for you slightly, however not completely, right? There's still some sort of holding back, or something being held back, or something not completely in your grasp as of yet. But I'm getting that it was sort of the setup for what's to come naturally, right? As all of our present moment is always that, the setup for what's next. And I think for some of you, this is beginning with internal, like your perception and value of self, like really having strong moments of being in that energy, embodying that, but not completely having a full grasp on feeling your value or feeling valued in life in general, right? But really finally having some sort of breakthrough in that, and naturally whatever it is that you are experiencing within will begin to reflect in the life that you experience outside. And so I feel like it's big moment. It's almost like a pause right before some big changes come in. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else we have. So we have carrying connections, we have the Magician and the Mirror, time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio, your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn, and you're very close. There we go, that's that energy right here. Very close to achieving or receiving or fully embodying almost like what you've been creating, imagining, almost being able to like fully step into that. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit of a back and forth as far as like some of this energy that's coming up is energy of your present moment, sort of feeling like what you've been experiencing this year. And this may be like with having to do with those of you that resonate with the message about internally feeling like you're getting somewhere when it comes to valuing yourself or feeling valued by those around you. And this may be in specific connections, or this may just be in general as far as like how you interact with others and your personal relationships. Like really tending to, almost feels like weeding out, like cleaning out the weeds and creating an environment that promotes healthy growth, in order to show you exactly what it is that you want to see without all the mess. And what I'm getting, like, what do I mean by that? So when I'm using the example of the garden, what I'm visualizing is somebody pulling out all the mess that might interfere, such as weeds or other plants that are going to take away from the main thing you're trying to grow. So I see a person literally scraping, pulling, really deeply inspecting and taking out from the surrounding flower beds, if you will, anything that is not what's being watered. So that's going to mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. Take that how it resonates. I really feel like this is probably what's leading into the right energy for being able to see what you want grow. Really being able to like reap real rewards, not reaping a field full of nonsense, right? So then we have, this is where we're headed to, okay? You're very close to achieving your goal. You are the magician. You probably stronger now through experiences you've had this year, more than anything. You know you're the one in the driver's seat. You know that your life and what you're experiencing currently around you is on you. It's taking full accountability and responsibility for the life that you're experiencing and accepting that everything is a reflection of what's going on within you, and therefore really saying, okay, I take accountability for what it is that I have been manifesting, especially if it's experiences that I don't want to experience. And so I sense that there's been a lot of work put into, it sort of feels like inner dialogue. Inner dialogue about recognizing when there's negativity, as it's coming up right here. Recognizing when there's negativity that's creating full-on barrier on gaining any movement. And it feels like facing a lot of fears. That's what it feels like. It feels like this year you've been facing a lot of your fears. You've been taking actions that required a lot of, I'm hearing risk, that required bravery. And in some cases you may have had times where those things did not pay off, or they didn't end up creating the best circumstances for you, but they were experiences that you gained something from in the end. And it just feels very vague, I know, but I feel like this can reflect a lot of different things. But I really feel like you're in the energy. I just love how it's resonating. You're very close to achieving your goal. Your hard work is paying off, and then you are the magician. It's just a matter of anchoring that now, right? In the best way you can, because I feel like this is a message that I've strongly gotten, I don't know, like a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know how long ago. I remember that feeling of, okay, you know what it feels like now to be able to manifest. You know how to course correct yourself when something goes wrong, or in your mind when you're picking up a lot of negativity and it's starting to like drag you from the right energy you need to be in to take the actions to get you to where you need to be or want to be. And it just really feels like, okay, you know what that feels like. Time to really get disciplined and anchor that. And I know we've gotten that message before. if you're one of my subscribers. And it feels like you maybe understood that in a, like you understood that as far as like knowledge and experience goes, but then I feel like this whole year was like more than just having an understanding. You needed to play it into action. So you actually took those lessons and used them in the real world, and were seeing certain things manifest and realizing that, you know, okay, so I do have the ability to manifest certain things. However, there's a need to really become disciplined in a way that it's more than just mental. And this feels like physical. So disciplined physically with whatever it is that you need to do, that you need to hold yourself accountable for. I really feel like that's the step you are in, or are moving into, that energy of discipline. And I feel like once that energy is anchored, that's when the growth, that's when you start to see, mind you, the growth is already happening beneath the soil, if you will. It's already there, it's already happening. There's growth happening. You may have seen small glimpses, right, but not the full thing. And so that's what you're in preparation for, is the full bloom. The bloom, I love that, the bloom. You're in preparation right now in this present moment. If you're resonating with this reading so far, you're in preparation for bloom. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of a forecast about what's immediately wanting to be pointed out to you. So current things you need to look at. Two, I'm gonna get one more. Oh, I guess we're gonna need two more. So we have the Five of Candles, the Three of Candles, the Nine of Candles, and the Page of Candles. Whoa. So that's all wands. That is all wand energy. And if you know wand energy, you know this is about action, which is what I was saying about being very disciplined in the physical. Like the actions that you are taking matter, okay? So don't ever discount that. Don't ever think, oh, well, even if I do this one tiny little thing, it's not gonna help nourish. Even if you think it's so small, hold yourself accountable. The actions that you are taking right now matter. They absolutely do. Maybe being able to like narrow down the right action has been a little bit of chaos. And that's okay. Honestly, that's part of the process. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting like, it's okay. Like sometimes learning is messy, right? Learning is messy. It's not always so clean. Even if you understand, you know, how you're supposed to go about a situation, doesn't mean that when it actually comes time to apply it, that it ends up working out the way you envisioned it. And so a little bit of chaos is the message that is coming through. Is absolutely normal. Don't allow the negativity to be like, well, this happened, I was bad, I made the wrong decisions, I can't trust myself, you know, what if I go, you know, don't allow yourself to fall into that. Everything has some sort of value, even if the experience didn't feel so great, okay? And so the guidance is to allow things to get a little messy sometimes, even if that's not exactly what you're aiming for, okay? To not allow that to deter you or hold you back. Even if it feels sometimes that it's getting, I'm sure we all are constant. Well, I would assume, obviously I can only speak for myself, but I would assume that you all feel the way that I do sometimes, where you feel like you're beating your head across a brick wall, feeling like you are doing this, you're trying that, you're doing all these little tweaks that you feel you can do subtly different to get a little bit closer towards what it is you're currently trying to get closer towards, and you feel defeated at times with all the actions, overexhausted perhaps with everything that you have on your plate right now. But your guidance is to continue, to not put too much pressure, baby steps. Like I said, even if there's like certain actions where you feel like, oh, like this tiny little minuscule thing, if I don't do it, it's not going to make, no. The guidance with the Page of Candles is even baby steps, even small, subtle things are useful right now, are absolutely nourishing and pushing you, guiding you, leading you towards one step closer to where you're trying to get, your goal, whatever that is, okay? Your hard work is absolutely paying off. These both are giving me the same energy right now. Even if all you're doing is taking baby steps, even if all you're doing is just making it through the day and taking one moment for yourself to ground your energy, it's paying off, okay? So don't doubt your self-trust in that. Okay. All right, I feel a lot less nervous now that the reading came through. And I feel like that's always the case with me. And that may be something that's resonant in the energy. So if you're resonating with that, like putting too much fear where it doesn't need to be. I worked myself up into a mental little dilemma. Just feeling anxious about doing a reading because I haven't done a reading in such a long time. So I'm just like, oh, what if it's weird? What if I'm weird, or whatever it is that comes through my head where I just feel like silly. Like, why are you going to post a video? So like maybe 10 people can view it. But hey, those are the baby steps I'm being guided to take. All right, so let's get some guidance for the collective energy. Guidance, advice for the collective energy. Perhaps something that can relax our fears, our worries, our anticipations. I wanted to get at least 2 more from this deck. Come on now. Okay. So 1, let's see if we can get 1 more. Okay, we'll leave that. I'm going to do 1 more deck, 2 cards, and then we will close this reading off. Guidance or advice for the collective, for their current fears, worries, anxieties, any guidance for the collective. They flipped themselves. Okay, before we get into that though, before we get into the guidance or advice, I just wanted to share a quick message, which is probably why I was very anxious about making this video, about where this channel is headed is what I wanted to give a quick message. So naturally, tarot is what this channel was based on, and it's always going to be part of this channel and this space. That's not going to change. However, spiritually, with everything that I've experienced this year, and perhaps you also, you're being guided to grow, to shift directions. And I've realized that sometimes most of the most meaningful guidance that I've received is coming from my own personal experiences, not just from the tarot cards, right? So sometimes it's just me experiencing things in real world that offers me the most profound, like, clarity, okay? So moving forward, I'm going to be trying to face my fears and share more video conversations about my spiritual journey personally, whatever it is that I'm learning, how those lessons are showing up in my everyday life. Nothing dramatic, just like honest reflections. Many times, like I said, when I have moments of clarity and things that I feel might support others on their own spiritual journeys. And so I just wanted to say that if that resonates with you, I would be very happy to have you share that change and growth with me. And if you're just here for tarot, well, rest assured, I will absolutely be holding myself accountable for posting more tarot videos as well. Perhaps on a weekly basis. Maybe twice a week if I'm feeling very fancy. But like I said, whatever it is that you're here for and resonate, I appreciate and I'm here for it. Thank you for being here. Let's get into your guidance or advice. So we have break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting your future. That's beautiful energy. We have the no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. So I'll pull a card to see what that's about. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So make sure you trust and take actions. Remember, all the wands, the guidance is to take actions, even if you feel they're so minimal. You have animal guardian. Trust your instincts, okay? And then we have the Shaolin Master. Be graceful in movement and action. Again, you have the energy of the wands right here, inviting and encouraging you to continue to take actions, to not stall yourself in any way. So actually, I'm gonna take that as that message. The answer, not the answer. It's not an answer. It's a message. It is the guidance to not wait. No, they're asking you to not wait. Forget what this is. Do not take pauses. Do not postpone. Do not say, well, if I don't do something, whatever it is for you, right? If I don't take these little baby steps for the next, like, I could take a little break. No. The guidance is do not pause. Do not wait. If some of you are waiting for the new year to take actions on something, aka me, I was going to wait to do a reading till January. But then I was like, no, you need to do it now. So whatever it is that you are being guided to do, like my little voice in my head telling me don't wait till January, do not postpone. You need to do it now. For whatever reason, I needed to do it now. And so if this video helps even one person before the new year to get started and to not wait and postpone something, then it's definitely worth it. Trust your instincts. Take those actions, okay? Take those actions. Even if they're a little rusty. It says be graceful in movement and action. But sometimes, again, like the other messages said, sometimes it's not so graceful. Sometimes it's a little chaotic, but take them anyways. All right, loves, that's what I got for you.